today we have the Devil's Reign Omnibus. This is a recent Marvel event written by Chip Zdarsky. And you can see Daredevil and Elektra posing as Daredevil is on the cover. You get some nice art on the inside. Now, this is about Kingpin being the mayor of New York. And this is his reign of tyranny over New York. And I guess most of the art in this is done by Marco Ceccato. I hope that's the right name. And it's the pretty typical Marvel Fair look to it. It's nice to look at overall. And all the superheroes now are under attack by Kingpin, who's mayor of New York, and he declares that superheroes are illegal, is what happens with this whole deal. And he's running for re-election. There's some weird mafia, like sort of Illuminati behind him, who's dealing with elections. You see Elektra Daredevil running around here. And he gets all the supervillains like working under him and Dr. Octopus, who's kind of secondary, to round up all the superheroes in here and throw them in jail for doing their superhero thing. And they're the Thunderbolts now, and Dr. Octopus has different visions. He wants to take over Fantastic Four's headquarters to get one of Reed Richards' devices. And so, the villains really aren't working together as well as you'd think they are on the surface. A big thing to note about Daredevil here is there's a Mike Murdoch running around who's like not actually Matt Murdock. In the original Daredevil stuff, Mike Murdoch is his brother. And in this, I'm going to sneeze. Woo! We'll fix it and edit. Yeah, it's definitely going to happen. But in I think it was Zdarsky's run, or maybe it was Charles Soule's run before this, somebody magicked him into existence as a real person. And so he's running around as himself as, Matt Murdock is being Daredevil. And of course, Daredevil's got a new squeeze as usual. And all the superheroes are fighting against the villains over the course of this. It gets really disjointed timeline-wise through these series. There's points where it's 2 weeks later after somebody gets arrested. And then Wilson Fisk, of course, and everybody else has been magicked into forgetting that Daredevil is Matt Murdock. Fisk figures it out, his block gets removed here. He's using the Purple Man in order to manipulate people to vote for him again as the superheroes kind of knock down, drag out, battle stuff. Eventually, Fisk kills that Mike Murdoch guy, spoilers, and thinks he's killed Daredevil. Daredevil comes back and does the thing. Meanwhile, Luke Cage is running for mayor against Wilson Fisk, and they have their big superhero battle in the streets, I guess, while the election's going on. Purple Man's son fights against his father's control, and eventually Daredevil kind of beats up Kingpin a bit, and Kingpin runs off and disappears, basically, is what happens here. The Illuminati says they can get him back and help him run for president at this point, and then Luke Cage becomes mayor. So, kind of a weird situation. Then there's all the crossovers, and there's all these event crossovers. Here's all these villains you see. I didn't actually read the crossovers. I just don't care. The event was not enough for me to actually care to read all these crossover issues. And they're not actually going to develop the characters in these. You're just going to have your superhero fights and not much else to it. Some of the art looks okay, but it was not an event that really felt like it needed more than was in it. And most of these events don't. That's kind of the problem with Marvel Comics. They pad this stuff out for the omnibus right here. Now, the weird part about what's going on is the Spider-Man in here, by the way, is Ben Reilly Spider-Man. I don't know why he's Spider-Man right now and not Peter Parker during this event. I guess you have to follow the main line to figure out why he's Spider-Man, and kind of odd. Now, I did read the end. There's a Daredevil's Reign Omega at the end of it, this whole deal. And that Omega deal highlights, really, it's like an after coda where Luke Cage is setting up his mayoral deal that's going on with him. And so that it just kind of continues the story at that point with not much else due to it. I think that is a useful read for kind of seeing the status quo of the Marvel Universe and where it's going to be at that point. But again, this event, it just kind of went as you would expect. Wilson Fisk did a thing. The heroes fought back against it. And so Daredevil got his band of heroes to like do things, and he was going to win, obviously. And he really just won because of Fisk's arrogance and incompetence, not really because they like beat him in any way. Which I guess, like, that's a way to present a villain, but it didn't have a lot of suspense to it because of that. So this was okay. It was not a bad read. Like I said, like, it was not exciting enough to like go through all those like tie-ins and all that, which take place overlapping. So they're really not going to develop much with the story beyond that. And so I call this event like a 7.5 out of 10 overall. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.